Now, the coalition of northern groups, CNG, has kicked against an alleged move by the federal government to grant the establishment of a French military base in Nigeria. This is coming on the heels of reports of a bilateral agreement signed between Nigeria and France, granting her unrestricted access to the nation's huge mineral resources. Reacting to the development, the national coordinator of CNG, Comrade Jamilu Aliyu Charanchi, at a press conference this Friday in Abuja, noted that since the inception of the present administration, Nigeria has witnessed open and behind-the-scenes diplomatic maneuverings being orchestrated at the top level of officialdom with a misleading intention to surrender the sovereignty of the country to France, a move which he says the coalition would not allow.
With all these calamitous catalogues of French imperial meddlesomeness in Africa, it beggars belief that our country, Nigeria, which has a rich and proud record of championing the cause of the black people anywhere in the world and an undisputed leader of the African people, could suddenly stop so low as to be ordered around in a manner reminiscent of the abhorrent and detestable behavior of conquered people. We refuse to accept and hereby wish to definitely reaffirm that having so sufficiently equipped ourselves with the armory of the above stated indisputable historical fact, and in the light of the yet another abhorrent reality prevalent, especially in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Burundi, where the rich mineral resources of these two great African nations are pitilessly plundered by France in particular, it is our very firm resolve and implacable determination to use all constitutional and democratic means to militantly resist any attempt by this government to invite France or any other foreign power in order to establish a military base in any part of our beloved country.
He recalled that France spearheaded the stiff resistance of some powerful Western nations against the imminent takeoff of the West African common currency and equally carried out a number of atrocities against other African countries. The group therefore called on the National Assembly to stand firm and united in defense of Nigeria's sovereignty and the freedom of Nigerians.
We hardly need to restate that currently not less than 5 former French-speaking colonies from the West African sub-region made up of Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, Senegal, and Chad have all wisely taken the bold and courageous sovereign decision to expel France and revoke the Inquitos agreement granting it permission to establish a expeditionary military base in their respective countries. Many years of colonial control and systematic pillage of their natural and human resources have left these countries with no other alternative than to throw away the shackles being imposed on them by France. It is therefore explicable that with all these happenings right at our doorsteps, that this government totally oblivious of this palpable reality, unilaterally opted to plunge its doors wide open to plant its morbid romance to our horrors, which inevitably seems to now culminate in the ill-advised sleeping with the enemy. We would like to reassure ourselves that our dear President is very intimately aware of the raging issue of insecurity, ravaging particularly the northern part of our dear country, which is mostly being characterized by armed banditry, insurgency, kidnapping, inter-ethnic and communal clashes, and youth restiveness, and thus cannot afford to initiate any unwise policy or undertake any action that by any stretch of imagination will undermine the ongoing collective effort by our military and security forces to restore peace and stability in our dear fatherland.
Recall that the Nigerian government had earlier in May 2024 said that it has no plans to host foreign military bases within its borders. Information Minister Mohammed Idris had described as false alarms the suspicion among observers that the government was considering approving military bases for the US and France following their ejection from neighboring Niger.